everyone, I am Henna and you are watching the 4th episode of my Aalto MBA journey vlog. We are in Kalasatama and behind me is Mustikkamaa, a place where I like to go often. I enjoy having long walks close to the nature, and usually during the summertime I either like to start or end my days there. But so in today's episode I was going to discuss how have I managed to combine MBA studies into my life. I mean, maintaining a full-time job while putting so much valuable energy on earning a degree sounds daunting to many. And therefore, I feel it is important to spend some time to understand how to combine them all. As certainly, it isn't the most easiest thing to accomplish, but like everything else in life, it is doable. I hope you gain some good insights and enjoy watching. Welcome! When I want to succeed within high-stress circumstances like doing an MBA while maintaining a full-time job, I must be purposeful of how I spend my time. I schedule everything, my work, study time, class time, recreation, as I believe it enables my success over the long haul. I need to have clear expectations towards my work, studies and personal life, and I must understand what do I need to do to meet those expectations. The more aware I am of my own habits, the better it is, as then I can learn to use them to their advantage. I find it also healthy to think about what would happen if I don't meet my expectations. What would be then the worst thing happening? At least for me, this helps me to get prepared for those moments if I'm not succeeding the way I wanted in the first place. And yes, it should go without saying, but I say it anyhow. I need to stick to my plan. I must stay true to myself and make my daily choices accordingly. Communications. I should never underestimate the importance of this one. You know, during the busy times, my interaction with others is impacted. So I need to be able to have honest and explicit discussions with my manager, friends and family. More often than not, they are willing to help me if I'm feeling overwhelmed with my workload. And then when things get tough, I remind myself that this lifestyle isn't forever. I do think that in the end, the most prominently I will remember the hard work I have done to achieve my goals, and then all the sacrifices made along the journey are worth it. Spontaneous moments. I mean, this lifestyle doesn't support spontaneous moments too much. Also, time for social circles is less, to people with whom I just hang out and have fun. I can tell it is very easy to get diverged from these social circles, and it happens actually quite fast. When you're not able to participate for a few random events, the messages and calls end. But I mean, when it comes down to make a choice, do I go out to socialize with people or do I stay and recover and regain my energies? The answer for me is very simple and clear. And of course, then there are those moments when I don't stick to my plan and the next day I remember again why it is so good to stick with my plan. But I mean, I guess here the key is to find good, healthy, sustainable balance that is good in the long run. Of course, I nowadays also need to pay more attention to the time for my family and friends, the inner circle. And here I really refer to a time when I'm able to be present in those moments and have good energy to engage with them. I feel so lucky to have such a supportive inner cycle, but sometimes I wonder, do they understand my choices? maybe it is natural to have these feelings. And I guess I have come to the conclusion that perhaps these feelings emerge in me because sometimes I feel guilt for not being able to be as present in those moments as I would like to. Doing sports is something I don't want to give up. That is my safe place where I get to clarify my thoughts and eliminate extra noise. Especially in those days when everything feels impossible, doing sports give me this much needed confidence boost, and usually things look much brighter afterwards. Of course, there are times when even doing sports feels to be too much, but in those moments I try to practice some willpower and remind myself of the benefits. I am not also willing to sacrifice my sleep. I mean, good night's sleep makes all the difference to my flurry day-to-day activities, and I am sure we all have experienced how the lack of sleep makes it so hard to focus and be productive. And so I find it important to have ways how I can calm my body and mind in the evenings. Keeping fun and laughing is a must. I mean, whenever I see an opportunity for a joke, I will take it because those moments help me to keep on moving forward. I schedule everything. My time is at premium, so I need to be a master of my own time. When balancing multiple things simultaneously, having them all visible in my calendar helps me greatly. It creates this calmness in me and brings me trust that I know I can handle everything when I can see all my commitments, short and long term, in one place. I always try to get things done right away rather than postponing them to somewhere in the future. Then, if I have overestimated the time needed, I can gain some free time to remind myself what that spontaneous lifestyle was all about. I need to have willpower and build it further along the journey. When I have strong ability to self-regulate, I can mitigate the stress which might appear during the busy times. Self-regulation for me represents my ability to manage disruptive emotions and impulses. I mean, if I can resist a second piece of chocolate cake, I am sure I can learn to use that same willpower to help me to separate my work, studies and personal life. All in all of this has taught me to really pay more attention, living in the present and enjoying every moment. I think nowadays I can appreciate more all these small simple things in life which perhaps previously I took for granted. Well, this is all for today. I am off to play tennis now. Wish luck to the opponent because I am going to win this game. I wish you a wonderful summertime and hope to see you next autumn again. Ciao!